So I was stumbling across YouTube and I saw this video saying I invested $100,000 to create my album and Spotify deleted it. Now, someone that worked in the music industry, I'm very curious to see what she says, because I've seen a lot of chopped stuff in the music industry and I just seen a lot of whack shit. So I feel like they just did her dirty, bruh. But no long talk, we finna run it up right now.
It's not
BROSKAY!
It's not an exaggeration. I actually invested $100,000 of my hard-earned money into creating my debut album, Beauty and the Boss. And 1 year later, after accumulating hundreds of thousands of streams, Spotify deleted it. All of it. It's gone.
See, and wouldn't that, like, already I'm getting cheesed. Already I'm getting cheesed because you just put so much work into this and you're just trying to showcase your work. You're just trying to show people your work. All the time you put in on that work. Who cares if it's creative? Who cares if it's, oh, it's not a hard labor job? Yes, it is, bro. It's hard in the brain. This is creative work. You know how hard it is to showcase your art mentally, physically, all those things? And then, boop, just one click. And it got yeeted out of there, broski. I don't rock with that.
Sounds pretty crazy, right? Well, today, I'm going to reveal the entire story. In my 10 years of releasing music for streaming, I've never had this issue. Usually it's the opposite, where songs that I didn't make are appearing on my page. I made a
I don't know these songs. Man, I might have to tap into KARRA. Like, yo, listen. And some people are going to watch this and say, you don't know KARRA? I guarantee if I play one of her bangers, the ones that have millions of streams, I'll be like, oh, it's that song. There's so much music nowadays. Unfortunately, I don't know every single person, however, how big or small they are. That's just the reality of music now.
15-minute documentary explaining this for you, and you can find it on my channel. But today's issue is possibly even worse. So let's start from the beginning. My entire life has been dedicated to my goal of being a professional recording artist. When I was growing up, I took my dance, music, and acting classes very seriously. I even got a bachelor's degree in music business because there was literally nothing else that I wanted to pursue as a career. I didn't really know.
Salute to her for already having that tunnel vision with that. She knew what she wanted to do and she was grinding and striving towards that. And look what she's going through now.
Know anything about production and recording at the time, but I went for it and I moved to LA. I worked every possible gig I could find while doing sessions every day and working at the Jersey Mike's in North Hollywood. I actually found a journal of mine that said I made a whopping $2,400 off music my first year living in LA. Off to a great start. The only way I was able to get songs released was through singing and writing EDM songs and being the featured artist on somebody else's track, usually a DJ. Since this genre had the lowest barrier of entry, that's ultimately what I pursued. And
lowest barrier of entry. Makes sense. You know, that makes sense. To go somewhere where there's a low barrier of entry where you could thrive and capitalize. That's compared to when people start becoming a streamer on Twitch and sometimes they will go play a very niche video game. I don't even know a video game example, but let's say it was Cooking Mama, the Nintendo Switch iOS version. I don't know. But only maybe 100 players are playing. If you play that game on Twitch, you're going to get hella viewers because it's very niche. So
it's how I survived for years living in Los Angeles. EDM producers are always looking for new, unknown vocalists. So it was a fantastic way to gain access to incredible music production right away. However, I wanted to make my own music where I was the artist because I have a lot to say. I have diverse taste and a wide range of vocal abilities that I wanted to share with the world. I wanted to make music that was about the vocalist. I felt kind of powerless because while I learned recording and vocal production, I still didn't know music production yet. Every project required a team of writers and producers to complete a song. And in retrospect, I wish I started learning music production sooner.
Yo, that's true, man. It even happened to me. That's why I started learning about making beats. That's why I even started learning making beats myself, because I was just so tired of people sending me beats and they were trash. Or listening to beats on YouTube, because when I'm driving in my car, all I do is listen to beats. So having to listen to beats when I'm driving down, and then I hear a part that's trash, I hear a part that I don't like. I'm like, why don't I just learn how to make these beats myself? And I don't gotta worry about all that extra stuff. Now, the most important thing I need to get now is a mic and a Focusrite, because now I want to start recording in my house. I want to get a home studio and learn how to engineer. So then I don't gotta rely on engineers and rely on all these people, because when you go to the engineer, you gotta pay a heavy fee, or they want you to film mad content for them. And I'm just tired, bro. I just want to record a song.
Because I could have taken things into my own hands and started my own personal journey as an artist. Between the money I was making from recording songs for DJs and selling vocal sample packs, I was finally able to start reinvesting in my own solo career after about 7 years of hard work in the music industry. This is when I partnered up with my favorite producers and landed my first solo release on Dharma Worldwide with my song No Evil. Still love that song, by the way. And the music video slaps. Shout out to Kashmir and Reed Stefan for helping me make that happen. Nice. My second single was a more serious ballad called Underwater, and that went on to be my most streamed solo release on Spotify. For Underwater, I signed a deal with an independent distribution company who was supposed to release the song and collect the master royalties from the streams and YouTube views. I liked the idea of working with a smaller distribution company because you'd think it'd be easier to contact them. The song was released and going really well on the surface. Then on the back end, after a few months of the song being out, I noticed I stopped receiving my YouTube AdSense payments for my channel.
So is that really how it goes, bruh? Man. See, all this distribution stuff, see, I don't do none of that. And I'm not an artist, but I've dropped songs before. And I never dropped a song to make money for it, because my passion is content creation. My passion isn't becoming a music artist. I love music, but my passion isn't becoming a music artist. I love to make music. I love to rap. So hearing that these distribution companies are already moving snaky and slimy.
My understanding, this distribution company needed access to my YouTube channel to collect underwater royalties, but instead they ended up collecting my entire YouTube channel's revenue, which I did not give them permission to do. Yeah. Effectively just stealing my money. So I brought this.
I would never let anybody touch that YouTube stuff, bruh. You ain't getting no YouTube royalties from this shit.
Issue to their attention, and instead of responding, they decided to remove my song Underwater from all streaming platforms. No warning, no response, which made me think that I had just lost all of my progress and streams. So in a panic, I quickly started a new account on DistroKid and was able to recover my streams by re-releasing it, and thankfully Underwater was able to stay above water. So that's...
Wow. Okay, so salute to her. See, now she's giving me motivation to not quit. Because there's been times where I really just wanted to quit this shit. There's so many, these past few months, I've been getting hit by roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Bump after road, rejection after rejection, ghost after ghost. And not getting pushed. And I was just getting so irritated for a long time, but what Michael Beasley said, the sun tomorrow came, the sun still rose, the world kept spinning, so I gotta keep grinding.
That's how I ended up a DistroKid user. Basically an emergency situation. I didn't particularly like them for any specific reason. I just needed to get my song up as quickly as possible. I had so many DMs of people asking me where it went. Throughout this time,
dude, man, I could talk about that for real. People even asking me, where's that song? When's it dropping? Waste You? I don't know, man. I literally don't even care about that song anymore.
I was also developing my content strategies on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And to my surprise, this led to a ton of lucrative brand sponsorships with music tech companies, as well as revenue from my website, IMKARRA.com, which I launched during that time. I finally started making enough consistent income to afford to create my first original album. The album did take a lot of time to create because of everybody's busy schedules. We also got married, bought a house, and had to make money by creating content and running both of our YouTube channels. Remember, nobody...
Damn, you married a YouTuber? Is that really the play? Is that the play? Anybody who's a YouTuber shorty from Toronto that's around 1.5K, we could start something. Or if you're at 1K but you're hustling, let me know, man, because that's clearly the play.
Pays you to sit there and write songs. So I had to stay consistent with content to be able to fund my dreams of simply making music. After a few
Unfortunately, that's how the game goes, though. Nowadays, if you want to really be making music and stuff, you gotta make content too. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Successful singles, I decided it was time to make a full album. In my mind, I was going to release multiple singles and albums throughout my life, and this was going to be the start of a solo artist career on Spotify. Or so I thought. So let's get down to business and make this album. While the producers themselves didn't bill me for their time because we were friends and frequent collaborators, we did have to negotiate 12 different agreements. Lawyer fees can range anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 for an entire album with multiple contributors. If you make your album entirely by yourself, this step would be way cheaper or even unnecessary. I do everything above board, and so I wanted everyone's master.
Yo, I'm gonna have to make an album. If I ever make an album, it's gonna be myself, my own beats. If you hear me drop a song and it's someone else's beat, it ain't never gonna be on an album or EP I make. But I'm definitely gonna make a little EP.
And publishing splits, agreed upon with a formal contract, standard stuff. Next, we have to get the album mixed. In pop and rap music, top mixing engineers charge anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 per song. It makes no difference if it's a single or an album cut. They have operating expenses, they have staff to pay, and they charge a fixed flat rate for every song.
Yo, mixing $2,000 per song? How are you mixing this? I feel like if you just learned those skills, just get close enough and you're blessed. Because the regular human can't even tell the fucking difference.
And I had 12 songs to mix. Plus, they don't retain any publishing or master. So this is the only time they'll get paid. To me, it was worth every penny because the mixes sounded so much better than our original demos.
Okay.
Plus, we got to learn a lot about mixing and what we can do differently in our mixes in the future.
What'd y'all learn?
Recommend this to anybody serious about their sound quality, even if it's just one song.
See, I am serious about the sound quality. But like I said, it sounds better to y'all, and maybe you just want it to sound better for y'all, and you want to give the best product to y'all people. But fam, yo, humans, man, we can hear some trash and still bumping, man.
Next, you have mastering. Top mastering engineers charge anywhere from $300 to $800 per song, but each song has an instrumental, an a cappella, clean version, and of course, the main version. So one song will have multiple masters that you need to pay for. Generally, the main master is the expensive one, and the alternate deliverables are a smaller fee on top. When you upload your songs to Spotify, you can either upload a cover art,
I gotta learn how to be a master then. Cause damn, that's how much you can make?
Or a video canvas. They always encourage you to include a video canvas because videos are naturally more engaging than photos. So that leads us to the cover photo. A professional photo shoot with a photographer in an indoor studio in Los Angeles.
That's what you gotta do for an album,
anywhere
though.
between $1,000 to $3,000. And that gets you a couple hours together to take pictures and a fixed number of final edits.
Yo, see, like, this is crazy. See, this reminds me also of GTA 5. Let me tell you the comparison. In GTA 5, when you start off your first heist, you could do some side missions and find some crew members that are pretty skilled, but they're not the best skilled, but they're not the most skilled, but they are pretty skilled. When you start your first heist, and then you can select through a different amount of people, some of them cost more than the others. There's the master one, and if you pick this guy, yeah, you're not going to lose any money in the heist. You're going to get the heist done. But here's the thing. When you go on to future heists, these guys can develop skills. So the guys that you pick up on the side missions, they could be trash the first mission, but on the last mission, when it's the big prize, they'll be better than the first guy. And they'll be cheaper because their cut won't really change. So what I would say is, I would find a team that's really, really ready to grind with you and develop their skills and get better at whatever they're doing. Because you could find a photographer that's trash, you want to work with them, your first project, and then y'all grow together years down the line, y'all understand each other. Then you don't got to pay the $1,000 to $3,000. Find someone that masters, then you don't gotta pay the $300 to $800 per song. But she wants to do it in the highest quality, so you can't really knock her for that either.
Plus, before you get there, you have to pay for your makeup, hair, and wardrobe. On an album, you of course have the main cover photo, plus additional promo photos for your profile picture, your banners, and any promotional content surrounding your release. Simply paying for the photo shoot gives you permission to only use those photos in your internet posts. If you want to sell merch, put up a billboard, or sell any physical item with that picture on it, you also have to pay your photographer a commercial licensing fee, which
Ay, ay, ay. That's so crazy. They took a photo of you. And then if you want to sell that photo of you, you got to... That's the wackest thing about it, man. Talking about a licensing fee and shit, bro. That's what cheeses me. And I wonder how serious that stuff gets.
could cost an additional hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on their rates. So that's
And what does a photo license even look like for real?
photos. Next, you need videos. Every song on the album sounded slightly different. There was no one visual that would have made sense for all 12 Spotify canvases. So we shot a mini vertical visualizer for each song to have a unique 8-second canvas on Spotify. Plus,
Okay, salute. See, now that's what's already getting annoying. Because she's doing stuff for you, Spotify! Specifically for you! She's doing the visualizer for Spotify because she knows y'all implemented that into her app and then y'all deleted her album!
an official music video for my song Nice Cat. Plus, I wanted to repurpose this footage for content on Instagram and TikTok, but that didn't happen, and we'll get to that later. At the time, Reed and I didn't know very much about professional video production, so we hired a professional film crew to get us the professional look we wanted. By this time, this is the third crew we've hired, and we've been very happy with the results. So for this video shoot, we rented out a white cyc wall studio that we could redecorate, repurpose, and relight 12 ways, one unique scene for each song. This crew included a director, producer, camera operator, set design, lens operator, lighting team, wardrobe, hair, makeup, location, insurance.
Yo, this reminds me of when I did the interview with Coil Ray. If you want to go look it up, it's on Much Music's page. If you type in Much Music Coil Ray, I did a 30-40 minute interview with her. And yo, this is reminding me of all of that. I was just so confused. Like, there's a person here, light here, operator there. Underwear everywhere. What? I didn't know what was going on. There's so much stuff going on, but it looked crispy. I didn't even need one of those DJIs or anything.
And gear rental. Video locations don't work like music studios, where all the gear is provided for you. You have to bring your own. At that time, Reed and I didn't own all of the professional video equipment that we have now. So we rented everything locally in LA. Of course, you have to feed everybody lunch and fit your shoot in a certain time frame to legally meet all of the video union standards. This meant that our one project became a 4-day video crew expense. This cost about $35,000 to $40,000, which...
Oh! 40K just to film a... Damn, bro. That's so insane, man. That's so insane. I feel like people just gotta start filming things on their iPhones and just be blessed with it. I don't think things need to be so highly produced. Unless you really got the bands for it. But sometimes people want to do things that are... just for the people, and they just want to have a very high production. It makes sense. There are things I want to do in later in life that are highly produced, but right now I don't. But for example, I heard DDG. I don't know if y'all know who DDG is. He was talking about his love show and how he was saying he probably won't even make any money from it, but it looks very highly produced. He said he just want to do it for the love of the game, so salute.
Sounds like a lot, but that's how much video crews cost. They all did a great job, and they gave very fair prices considering how skilled they are. Plus, it was a 12-song shoot, not just one. So that's video production.
True, 12.
Now we have video post-production. For this, we figured the best way to tackle the workload.
The reason why I like this video is because she's teaching me everything that really goes into making an album in case I ever want to make one for myself in the future. Black Boy Max should watch this too.
Would be to hire an editor and colorist that can work with us in-house. This helps avoid revisions,
Don't worry, she meant
annoying
not
emails
racist.
back and forth, or time zone differences that you may be battling with your team of editors. We edited the Spotify canvases and the mini music videos for each song. And depending on where you live, this could cost around $200 to $600.
I just gotta check something. I gotta see if my my voice was recording. I have to make sure, man. Sometimes it don't be recording.
A day. Needless to say, it took a lot of days to edit 12 visualizers and sift through and narrow down all the amazing footage the team captured. In addition to the expensive video production, we also did countless pieces of iPhone content.
See, that's where you really go. She's getting very meticulous with it. I rate that. But me, I'm not a meticulous type of person. So if I was doing visualizers, if I saw 7 seconds that I just fucked with, I'd be like, yep, that's the one. There could be a way better one in there. I don't even give a shit.
And videos at home that cost little to no budget. They say you want to try to hit every angle when promoting music. So I produced a wide variety of visuals to pair with the music. This was the birth of all my popular home studio content, music production sessions, and product reviews that you watch on my channel every week. So all the camera gear and lighting equipment that we purchased during this time was not only for the future of the album, but to create profitable, high-quality content on YouTube, like this.
That's
so
smart.
now I'm here thinking I got all my ducks in a row, my content is locked and loaded in the chamber, and I'm ready to fire!
Hey.
And all we need is a release date and a distributor. This entire time I was actively trying to find a
dog, she deserves 1 million views. She deserves 1 million views. This is a great video.
Management team, a record label, or reputable distributor to work with me on this release. But no one really consistently expressed interest, and it was all just delaying the project from being released. So I said, you know what? F it. I'll just slap it up on my DistroKid account and do this thing independently. We set a release date for March 2024, and it was on. So the release came. I stayed up till 9 p.m., which is midnight on the East Coast. And yes,
wait, hold on.
Distributor project from being work with me on this release. Team, a record need as a release date and a distributor. This entire time I was actively trying to find a management team, a record label, or reputable distributor to work with me on this release. But no one really consistently expressed interest, and it was all just delaying the project from being released. So I said, you know what? F it. I'll just slap it up on my DistroKid account and do this thing independently.
Yo, see, I'm learning a lot from her because I've also learned a lot through this with process with making music with other people as well. That's why I'm really learning just to do this myself so I can drop shit whenever I want. Because there's one song that I still want to drop. I recorded that shit in March. Nigga, it's August. And I've been getting press, spam for months. Everyone's telling me to drop the song, drop the song. I can't. So whatever songs I make in the future, I'm probably going to be making them myself. It's just that simple.
We set a release date for March 2024, and it was on. So the release came. I stayed up till 9 p.m., which is midnight on the East Coast. And yes, that's late for me. Refreshing my Spotify, eager to see my album appear on my profile. All of my hard work finally public. Except 10 out of the 12 canvases were missing. All the songs are up, but the expensive visuals I made for them just aren't there.
Wow.
I had to contact Spotify's customer service, and it took about 1 to 2 weeks to get it resolved. So the first 2 weeks of my release, there's just
no like, bro, she spent bands on this. Oh, apps have errors. They shouldn't have errors.
just static artwork. Kinda disappointing, considering they cost $40,000.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was still excited, thinking, man, I finally made it. The album's out, and I'm determined to go viral. So I opened TikTok and uploaded my very first video performing my favorite song on the album, and...
Your audio is muted for copyrighted content.
Like, damn your own content, bro. It's like, yo, this is your own song. Yo. Music is cooked. Music is actually cooked. The music industry is getting way too greedy.
And thank you.
So the video is just me dancing and lip syncing to Silence, promoting my new song. I said, wait a second. What about this audio could possibly be triggering a copyright strike?
Mookie, are you the bots?
What if Mookie's been the bots the whole time?
Are you the bots?
I didn't use any splice samples. It didn't get misinterpreted with somebody else's song. And I just released it. And it was already blocked on TikTok. And TikTok's supposed to be the main way that artists funnel their fans to Spotify, right? So I searched the TikTok music library for my album, and it was nowhere to be found. I then looked at my personal TikTok audio library on my profile, and I can only find 2 songs, Money in My Mind and Playback. I thought, this is weird. DistroKid is supposed to release it everywhere. Now I have to start researching and contacting customer support and hoping
like, oh my, yo. But I do understand that sometimes these things just don't work, even though they should work. Like, if you're gonna build something, man, build it to work and keep updating it and making it better. Because I've had this issue on Shopify, man, when I was trying to upload my clothes and the link wasn't working whenever I would click it through Instagram. And I had to message them 50 times before I could actually get to a person. And then they set up the SSL certificate and shit. So I understand what she's going through.
that there's some sort of error that could possibly be resolved. DistroKid's customer service didn't have any solutions for getting my songs on social media platforms. But once I found out the actual issue 3 months later, it made sense why they couldn't help me. It turns out that multiple major publishers were suing TikTok and removing their catalogs off the platform. And I'm here thinking, I'm not signed to any major publisher at the moment, so why is this affecting me? I'm independent. Well, it turned out that one of my co-writers was signed to one of the publishers involved in this lawsuit. And
oh my gosh. Bro, become Tame Impala with this shit. If you want to make music, become Tame Impala. And look where the industry's headed. Everyone's getting greedy. Everyone's just taking stuff out. You don't know. You could be thinking you're independent and you're not. Bro, just do everything independently, bro. Learn how to make the beats. Learn how to make the music. Learn how to, I don't know, man. You're just going to have to learn.
Because he participated in the creation of my songs were blocked by association. It wasn't his fault, of course, but apparently this lawsuit started halfway through the album making process.
Damn.
It took 6 months for this publisher lawsuit to stop affecting my music. So for the first 6 months, I just couldn't post anything with my album on TikTok because the audio would always get muted or it was straight up impossible to find. Once again, if I had just made this album entirely by myself, I wouldn't have experienced this blockage.
Thank you for the lesson. See, that just oh yes, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the lesson.
But how good would an album be if I just made it by myself?
True.
So now TikTok's out, which leaves me with Instagram and YouTube as my main album promotion platforms.
She's right about that. You want to have a team with everything you do, man. If you have a team, you can just make something better. Like I was also saying, just do it yourself. But if you find a team, bro, you can make something better. But then look at all the BS you go through. So what's the answer for real?
YouTube ended up being slightly better, but not much. Instead of blocking my audio, they block my monetization. Videos that contain commercially released music are ineligible for Google AdSense payouts. You get paid for an audio stream instead of a video view. And audio streams are worth significantly less than video views. So basically your payouts are lower and funneled back to you through slower payout systems like DistroKid instead of regular monthly income like Google AdSense. So YouTube wasn't a complete dead end, but kind of a financial dead end, at least when it comes to promoting Spotify releases. So now TikTok and YouTube are becoming a dead end. So let's try Instagram to promote this album. Now with Instagram, it's unclear whether their search engine sucks or the entire music library system sucks. Either way, it sucks. I could not find any of my songs for my album, no matter how completely or correctly I typed it into the search.
Yeah, the IG music thing is hard. I be feeling your pain right now, dog. I really be feeling your pain. Cause even when I try to search up some songs that someone dropped, I'm like, damn, where the heck is it at, broske? Instagram's just rough with it. They gotta work on that because people use music on Instagram a lot more now, especially on their profiles, on their posts. So Instagram, come on, let's lock in.
Maybe Instagram was also being affected by the same lawsuit as TikTok. Who knows? If I was lucky enough to find my songs, I had to quickly save it to my saved audio, or else I literally would never find it again.
Yeah.
I had more fans complaining that they couldn't find my music than I had fans using my songs in their content. Isn't that the whole point? For people to easily find and use your songs and their content?
Yeah.
Well, apparently not for me. While Instagram didn't mute my audio, they were making it damn near impossible for anyone to find and use my music. So out of all 3 social media platforms, the one that's working out the best for me is YouTube. So I decided to wait for one song to become the most popular song on the album and make an official music video.
Damn, so out of that, the best was YouTube, eh? So I feel like maybe I should be focusing my efforts on there. I mean, my music doesn't get muted on TikTok because it's not even me being independent. I'm not an artist. But still, it's showing that man, I ain't trying to do nothing with no label people because they just gonna take them rights.
Knowing that my YouTube upload wasn't going to be eligible for AdSense revenue, I decided to plan the most affordable music video possible. So instead of hiring a big crew, I hired 4 incredible dancers, a choreographer, and 2 assistants to help Reed with all the camera gear and photography. Instead of hiring an indoor location, lighting, and set design, we got an outdoor location that already looked beautiful and provided plenty of natural sunlight. At this point, we already owned some better camera gear, lenses, and lighting for an organic homemade vibe, which was perfect for my song Peak. The Peak music video ended up being the most rewarding part of the entire album process because I went into it with 0 expectations or hopes for profits, only for the freedom to have fun and create something beautiful. This video shoot ended up being my favorite.
See, I want to make a Honey Crew or Tim Hortons video shoot. I feel like whoever watches don't even know what that is, but
and most affordable one ever, with the expenses totaling from $7,000 to $8,000. This is the first video I edited all by myself, and now I edit every upload you see on my YouTube channel.
Nice!
Back to the album.
So you edited
the album
this?
Was consistently growing and accumulated about 200,000 streams in the first year. But unfortunately, all that progress was about to come to a screeching halt. Just a few weeks ago, I opened my Spotify for Artists account and see something really good for once. There's a spike in streams on my song Work. I thought, wow, it's finally happening. A song on my album must be having a breakthrough with the algorithm. This is great. Well, it seemed great until the following week when this email arrives in my inbox.
Spotify
no way, bro.
has flagged artificial streaming on your tracks. Because of that, your releases containing these tracks were removed from their platform. This doesn't mean you did anything wrong. These things can happen on Spotify without your knowledge.
What does that mean, though?
Thank you.
So the song that was just starting to get all those streams was actually flagged for artificial streams, like bots or AI or one of those weird things that scammers do. I wouldn't know because I never signed up for anything like that.
That's so
I know
whack.
this sounds like a joke, but they weren't joking because a few days later, my 12-song album became a 0-song album. So after having one of my infamous KARRA crash
Oh, so she had a whole series about this shit?
shouts on Instagram, I decided to make the permanent decision to never distribute or release a song for streaming ever again. I did not buy any artificial streams or send bots to my profile to run up my numbers, which begs the question, who did? Quite frankly, none of my haters are smart enough to launch a successful cyber attack of this magnitude. So I don't believe that this was done by some person who has a
I mean, you never know though, bruh. You never know though, bruh. People be sneaky out here.
grudge against me. What I do know is that thousands of other artists are experiencing the same exact thing. My theory is someone made a playlist and promoted it with bots. That potentially got me and a number of other artists flagged. It really seems like they just want to punish the artists instead of the cornballs making botted playlists.
I mean, hey, they doing the same thing over at Roblox. They not punishing the predators, but they punishing the people capturing them.
Or maybe major labels are purposely making it really difficult to be an independent artist. There seems to be more protection for AI-generated music and fake bands than there is for real people making real music.
Yeah, bro. Look, I'm telling y'all, I'm sorry that I paused it so much, but this is just such a real video, and she's speaking some real facts, and I love realness. So now I'm about to sub to you. And I'm just gonna bump your music because, bro. I gotta start bumming. I can't bum it on Spotify though. I'm sorry for laughing.
Meanwhile, YouTube is demonetizing AI channels and discouraging low-effort content. Wow, what a difference. It's almost like these video platforms actually care. So that's how much money I invested in creating my album. Let's talk about how much money I made from my album. I have the actual receipts with actual numbers from my streaming payouts, and we're gonna go through them together. First, let's take a look at my DistroKid account. Now, I released this independently, so my label, Laser Jungle Studios, technically owns the masters for this album. And
yo, can I interview you? Fuck, I don't know if she's ever gonna see this video. I don't know if this video's ever gonna get views, and I don't know how I could even contact her. But I would love to interview you, bruh. For real.
DistroKid pays out the master royalties. The accounting statements are always a few months behind, but these numbers are pretty current, so let's take a look. My album accumulated about 1,182,611 streams. And for that amount, I was paid $1,210.
Wow, so you invested 100,000. And with 1 million streams, you made 1,000. Y'all see that shit, bro?
And 86 cents. This total includes all streaming services, so Spotify, Apple Music, and I even had 12 album sales, so shout out to those 12 people that bought my album. I appreciate you. As the label, I am responsible for paying the producers their master royalties as well. So even this small $1,200 number gets further divided between multiple people. This album had a short lifetime. It was only up on streaming services for a year and a half. But still, $1,200 for a year and a half of streaming split between multiple people.
Yeah, you made
it's looking pretty bleak. Yeah. But that's only the master side, so let's take a look at the publishing.
Oh my gosh, see it. Oh.
As a songwriter and producer, you are supposed to sign up with a performance rights organization that collects performance royalties. I happen to be signed with BMI. Buckle up, baby, because these numbers are a doozy. As you can see in my chart, Work has a couple more statements available because of the fact that this song actually got synced on a very popular TV show, and it was released a couple months before the actual album. So one of the songs was already generating some income before the entire album got released. BMI does quarterly accounting, so I have a total of 8 quarters accounted for. Work generated the most money in this total because of that sync. But still, it's a whopping $338.97. And then when you add up the entirety of the performance royalties that I collected in my BMI statements, you have a grand total of $347.56.
USD
there
though,
are
right?
multiple songs on here that didn't even crack $1. For example, my song Big Butt generated a riveting total of 69 cents. I thought my butt was worth more than that. But apparently not on BMI. But hey, I guess it's better than the 5 cents that my song New generated. So these numbers are just my splits, but there are 3 to 4 writers that are involved in every track. So if you multiply the $347.56 by 4, you get $1,390.24. In addition to this PRO money, there is also royalties that are collected through all of our different publishers, but I can probably guess that it's not that much. And last but not least, I did happen to get a small sync for my song Work, which was $2,000 split between 3 people. It's important to remember that even though my album is off streaming services, there is still potential to land more syncs. So there is small potential for future income, but as it stands now, let's calculate the grand total. So after investing over $100,000 into my album has generated a total of, drumroll please.
I'm scared.
$4,601.10.
So after all this, you drop an album and you lost $90,000. That's so tough, bro. I'm so sorry. I can't even help you though. I got no money. I can't even help you. I got no money. But Let's just hear what else you got to say.
So, after running the numbers, was it worth it? From an artistic perspective, yes. I learned a lot, I went on an epic journey, and I got the opportunity to express myself freely and creatively and just really embody what it means to be an artist. Plus, I had so much fun along the way, and I wouldn't trade those memories for the world. Now, from an accountant's perspective, was it worth it? Absolutely not. Was it a successful business venture? Hell no. It basically is the equivalent of setting your money on fire. In conclusion, it is really disappointing that the album came to such an abrupt halt. But there is a silver lining. This album disaster was the catalyst that I needed to restructure my entire business and invest all of my time in a profitable and stable platform like YouTube.
See, this is where I really appreciate a video like this and actually even hearing it at this time, because I ain't gonna lie, I literally am going through that situation right now. These past few months after I quit my job working at a music company, so I already knew how dark the music industry gets. I invested money into myself, bro. I invested all the money I had into myself, trying to get my video seen here, trying to get my video seen there, trying to grow here, trying to go there, thinking that, oh, maybe it'll help me get more brand deals, all of this stuff. And then I even hired a manager. I was doing this, I was doing that, I was traveling here, I was traveling there. All of those things led to nothing. But I genuinely believe that all those videos and all those things that I went through these past few months have helped me recalibrate how to move profitably with my money and all that stuff in the future. I know the things I need to do to make consistent money, to be more remote, working from home. So hearing something like this, just knowing that you're a star and you went through this, I'm sorry that you went through it, but I'm glad that it's also helped you recalibrate your business and pushed you in a more profitable direction.
This doesn't mean I'm gonna stop making music or stop sharing music online. It just means that I'm no longer investing my time, energy, money, or creativity into music streaming services and distribution companies.
See, yeah, that's the main thing I'm trying to tell people now. Cause I've talked a little bit about not doing much on TikTok no more and focusing more on YouTube videos. For example, even just dropping a video like this. She dropped this, I'm dropping this the same day. The reason why I'm doing that is that I had to spend more time focusing on the platforms that could actually help me make some money. And YouTube, I can still be a content creator. I've always wanted to do YouTube content, and YouTube content's a lot different now. So I feel like this is a lane that I can actually go through in. It's a lane that I can actually thrive in. And I'm just going to use TikTok to help me promote YouTube. I ain't going to stop making TikToks, but I'm just going to use it now to help me promote YouTube. Because at this point, man, they ain't pushing my vids. I ain't going to be no TikToker no more.
And I'm certainly not going to send my fans and supporters to a streaming platform that doesn't support me.
And that's how I felt about TikTok, man. I ain't going to be going hard for TikTok. That ain't even pushing my vids no more. I see people liking the vids. Y'all supporting the vids. Support me on YouTube then. If y'all support me on YouTube. If y'all support me on YouTube, please.
People have suggested to sell my album on my website, but the album was made by multiple songwriters and producers that are signed to major publishing deals. So I would have to pay out mechanical royalties, draft all new agreements, and I would have to hire an accounting team to do all the payouts. It sounds like a great suggestion in theory, but for this project, it's just too complicated.
Yeah.
Once again, if I had made this album by myself, that would have been a viable option. If you want to hear my music going forward, you can hear it on YouTube, where I get paid fairly and get treated fairly as a creator. Video streaming services like YouTube actually have their shit together. They actually respond to issues with human customer service. And when I post videos, I grow an audience, I make a living.
And she's telling me right now to really lock in on this YouTube. It's funny because I just watched a video on someone that was saying not to do YouTube. This is a bad thing about the internet. You hear one person saying, yo, don't go on YouTube, bro. Another person saying, I'm quitting YouTube. And then the other person saying, YouTube is the best platform.
I have peace of mind. And most importantly, I have full control and agency over my profile and music. I'm not telling this story to stop people from pursuing their artistry. What I am urging you to do is to seriously ask yourself, why should we support and put our music on their platform when they don't pay or treat us fairly? A lot of people believe that there are no other options, but you're watching another option right now. So maybe if you slightly readapt your artistry on a video platform, your music will get more attention, you'll attract brand deals, you'll actually get paid fairly, and you won't experience the same injustices as thousands of artists in this flawed music streaming system. If you want to support me and hear my music, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can keep up with all of my creative endeavors, stream my album on my channel, enjoy the music videos for my songs Peak and Nice Cat, and shop at IMKARRA.com, where you can download my exclusive vocal sample packs, stock plugin vocal templates for every popular DAW, courses, presets, and more. I'm so relieved that this is over and I can finally move on with my life in peace. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to my millions of monthly listeners on Spotify over the years.
Yo.
I didn't want to abandon you all like this, but I had no choice. So instead of having an album called Beauty and the Boss, I became the Beauty and the Boss. Thanks for watching and listening to my story, and I'll catch you guys next time in another video.
Damn, yo. KARRA, salute to you. Salute to you, bruh. Salute to you, man. There's nothing else I can say other than salute. You went through a lot, and it's really great to hear a story like that because, like I said, I'm someone that literally recently went through a situation similar to yours where I invested a lot of money into myself and got nothing out of return, and it wasn't really something like I didn't get nothing deleted. I just stopped getting my videos pushed when I knew I was making great content. But yo, you went through way more than me, and this video is already almost 50 minutes long, so I'm gonna end it there. But yeah, love.